Madam Goinkos, the children and extended family members, honorable ministers present here, honorable deputy ministers, distinguished members of the public that are here with us, ladies and gentlemen. A big tree that provided the shade of the Namibian people has fallen. Indeed, a big tree has fallen, leaving many Namibians exposed to all sorts of extreme weather, be it heat, severe cold, or rain. A strong, heavy voice for development and unity in Namibia and for Africa has gone silent. A champion of emancipation of the Namibian people from poverty has gone to join the forefathers and foremothers. Indeed, leaving a deep void engulfed in the Namibian people, and a profound sense of loss is observed across Africa and the entire world at large. I speak about nobody else but President Hage Geingob, the man who have, through the television interviews past few weeks, we have witnessed many Namibians judging from their testimony on a daily basis. They have described him as a great leader, a liberation hero, a brave and fearless fighter who spoke out to power, but a caring person and also a very charismatic leader. The man with a remarkable ability to connect with everyone, young and old. A man with a great sense of humor. A God-fearing man, a symbol of hope. A selfless and legendary leader, a unifier, and a beacon of unity. This is what people have said over the past few weeks. I received with grief the sad news of the passing of Comrade Dr. President Hage Geingob while I was in Dubai in transit from Singapore. I saw him last at the airport when he was boarding a plane to the United States of America on the 25th of January 2024. Little did I know that that was the last day I was shaking his hands. However, I'm comforted by the fact that around Saturday, the 20th of January 2024, Madam Geingob had invited me to their home, and we had a 3 hours afternoon of discussion together. Therefore, I stand here today to pay tribute to one of the visionary Pan-Africanists, an administrator of note, an outstanding scholar of great repute, a seasoned diplomat who contributed immensely to the total liberation of the African continent in general and to the struggle of the Namibians' freedom and genuine independence in particular. To me, always in admiration of his pedigree as a thinker and a scholar per excellence, President Geingob remains as a father, a gracious teacher, a friend, and a mentor. I'll keep these as my antiques. My path crossed with this great man with encyclopedic brain in 1995, when he identified me among many other young Namibians to come and work in his private office, as General Shikongo has mentioned, as his senior private special assistant. Yes, I was also young that time. Don't look at the age now. A few years later, President Geingob also hired the likes of Saki Shangala, Matthew Govasep, Audrey Mate, the late Kazanambo, Alfredo Hangari, and many others. All of us were young people who were not even in exile, except for Kazanambo. We were commonly referred to as the Geingob kindergarten. This was not said in positive light by those who called us such. It was their way of demeaning the Prime Minister and telling the whole world that he had surrounded himself with kids without suitable support to discharge his constitutional responsibilities. Yes, years later, the Geingob kindergarten produced national leaders, such as Kazanambo and Saki Shangala, who rose to cabinet minister positions. Strategy and communication expert an author in his own right, Matthew Govasip, and 3 PhDs, Dr. Mate, Dr. Hengari, and yours truly. These are the products of Geingob, a man who is not selfish, who invites everyone. A Mozambique from Caprivi, being invited, come join me. You understand what I'm saying? All of us coming to one house. We continue to witness his belief in young people during his presidency. He was the chairman of the Constituency Assembly that drafted the Namibian Constitution in a record time of 30 days, described by many as the world's best. This is a task that involved a great deal of negotiating conflicting interests. His chairmanship of the Constituency Assembly is a true example of classic leadership. The man who had undertaken a complex task of establishing the governance architecture and integrating the 11 ethnic groups, governments into one government. In recognition of his contribution, locally and global, President Geingob received 4 honorary degrees. But guess what? He refused to be called Dr. Geingob with those honorary degrees. And he worked very hard to earn his own in 2004 from Leeds University. We should be very proud of this old man. At 63 years old, he got his PhD degree. President Geingob was truly committed to principles of good governance, accountability, transparency since independence. These instruments of governance, he didn't only start talking about them now. They come from the time when he was Prime Minister. Some of his initiatives during his time as Prime Minister includes the introduction of the Public Service Charter General Principles, which became operational in 1997. His office officiated or facilitated individual customer service charters in different offices and agencies. As chairman of the 14th meeting of experts on the United Nations Programme on Public Administration and Finance, he helped in drafting the final version of the African Civil Service Charter, which was adopted here in Windhoek in 2001. To this end, it's important for us as monarchs here to understand that even the African Civil Service Charter was modeled against the Namibian Civil Service Charter. So we were pioneers in that aspect as a result of this visionary leader. Way back in 1998, he championed the National Integrity Conference that gave birth to what we see today as the anti-corruption law. In order to strengthen the anti-corruption measures, as a president, he also assented into law the Anti-Corruption Amendment Act, including the Public Procurement Act, Access to Information Act, as well as the Whistleblowers Protection Act. These are very important pieces of registration for combating corruption and the promotion of integrity in society. President Geingob, while Prime Minister, spearheaded the nation Namibia's leap into information age. We were all very naive about IT. We were scared of information technology. But he got involved and brought awareness to government. That led to holding a few IT workshops at cabinet level in 1999. This led to our approved e-governance policy today in the public service that was approved by cabinet in 2005. Anything wrong? He was also a champion of press freedom, as you know. His dedication to freedom of the press was confirmed by several Namibian journalists over the past few weeks. They gave testimony after his demise. How helpful was he? How he engaged them? How he participated in everything that the journalists want him to participate. He initiated, many years ago in 1999, the NBC program called Prime Minister's Question Time. It was his way of communicating to the general citizenry out there, to let them understand and to encourage them that they are part of government. Namibia today claims to be the champion in freedom of the press. And I think we got the distinction now when he was president. Dear monarchs, President Geingob was a very strong negotiator, it has been said by other people, an engaging character, and a very consultative person. In 1996, we had a 6 1996, 6 years after independence, Namibia witnessed a prolonged 45-day strike that took place in Tsumeb Corporation. This strike was the longest and most difficult since independence. It was not only caused by wage demands and other grievances by mine workers, but it was because of the harsh and uncompromising attitude of management of TCL. Prime Minister Geingob was asked to mediate the talks, and he made a breakthrough. After 45 days, union and TCL could not meet hands, but he was asked to go and mediate the strike on the 46th day, and the strike was concluded, getting a compromise wage increase of 10.5%. That is a milestone. That strike was almost crippling the whole economy, but it was saved by the intervention of the Prime Minister. Dear Monas, I highlight all these things just to mention how important and how this man has worked for this country. But I'm not be able to say all things that I consider as important. Doing so would need me to write a very long encyclopedia. But I want to invite you to join many other scholars to write books about this man. This memorial service would never be able to accommodate all what this man has done for this nation. Therefore, it is only in the best interest of our history, of our archives, of our library, that we go and do research when information is still fresh and make sure that we honor this leader in a manner that is appropriate. Therefore, as we celebrate the life of this great leader, a dedicated public servant, Namibians should find solace and comfort in his deep footsteps and legacy, invaluable contribution and exemplary leadership, including his emphasis on unity of purpose and togetherness. He usually used to say, let's hold hands. That's an important element of his legacy. As Namibians, we owe the Geingob and the Kalondo family our profound sense of gratitude for the role the president has played in this country. He literally spent 60 years of his 82 years of life in this country working for us all. And that should be seen in big light. 60 years out of his 82 years of existence in life. That's a significant portion dedicated only to the cause of the Namibian people. I want to end by saying Namibia is poor today without President Geingob, an intellectual giant who was a divine gift of God to the Namibian people. Indeed, a true gift of God directly to the Namibian people. Despite the series of bitter struggles he endured, his boldness and exemplary leadership shone out. Nothing could keep him down. He fought it all. He will be greatly missed by all of us. Finally, I take this opportunity to offer my special and most sincere heart condolences to Madam Geingob, the children, and the entire family. May the spirit of President Geingob continue to rest in peace. Go well, my president. Go well, my father. Go well, my hero. Go well, my mentor.